So Syleena Johnson believes that R&B stars of today don't necessarily need to have the strongest vocals to succeed. Oh, it's been this way since for a while. This just didn't happen. The crazy thing on the pop side is so crazy because on the pop side, you still got strong singers, right? I'm going to focus on mostly the women today, but I mean on the pop side, you got what Adele, Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato, Christina Aguilera, Kelly Clarkson's still around singing. Like, there's still so yeah, and then there's a bunch of female vocals on the pop side who's not great either, right? Like Katy Perry's vocals are good but not great, so you can kind of play around with that. But for the most part, on the pop side, it's stronger than the R&B side. Because if you look at R&B, because when they posted this article, someone on X said, "So what about Chloe and Halle and Jasmine Sullivan?" Jasmine Sullivan's different. She's far better than everybody else. Because Jasmine Sullivan actually came out in the 2000s, but okay. Jasmine Sullivan and Kalani and Victoria Monet and Money Long. It's like most of those singers are good, but they're not great. Like Coco Jones. This person also said Coco Jones. Coco Jones, beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Good singer. Decent singer. She sang the national anthem for the Ravens and Chiefs game. And she sang okay. Like some people say she was terrible, but no, she was fine. She sang okay. But then she tried to hit that. She tried to hit that last note. She bent over, that old school Bobby Brown, tried to hit that note. She went to bend over to get that last note. It's like, no, don't do it. It was bad. It was bad. Like, you got to know your limits. I mentioned Bobby Brown. The one thing I always love about Ralph Tresvant from New Edition, Ralph knew his range. He says, I'm not going to sing higher than this. I'm not going to sing lower than this. This is my range. I think a lot of vocalists today don't know their range. And Coco Jones, if she would just stay where she was, I think she would have been okay vocally. But she tried to hit that almost like Whitney Houston type note. And it's like, you're not Whitney Houston. You will never be Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was a goddess. Know your lane. But yeah, Coco Jones is a good singer, but not a great singer. And I saw this one with the Usher tribute, where it was all women, right? And I said, well, where's the R&B men? And it's like, there's a lack of R&B men. People say, oh, that's not true. There's October London and all these guys. And it's like, I understand that, but these guys aren't really, even if they're really good singers, they're not really being pushed. They're not chopping the torch. There's no Bruno Mars on the R&B side. We're still debating Chris Brown and Usher. That's where the lack of the R&B male vocalist is. We're still talking about Chris Brown is still the top R&B dude. At this point, he's 38, which is not old, but still, he should have he should have guys fighting him for that crown. There's no fight right now. It's just Chris. And Chris doesn't have the greatest vocals in the world. Like, Chris is a fantastic performer. But when Tank said he's better than Michael Jackson, it's like, and Tank knows better. It's like, that's crazy, man. On his best day, Chris Brown's vocals will never come close to Michael Jackson. On his best day. Fantastic performer. Chris Brown's a fantastic performer for 2024, but he's not Michael Jackson. So I figured, let's play a game. I don't want to be too serious today. And my game is, because I remember when I was looking at that list, I saw Money Long and all these names and Victoria Monet. I said, okay, fine. Let's play a game, everybody. Why don't you guys give me 5 names of the best female vocalists from 2014 to 2024. You give me the best female vocalists from 2014 to 2024, and I'll pull from 1994 to 2013. So I won't be saying Aretha Franklin or Shaka Khan, any of those artists, because that wouldn't be fair. Because there's no Aretha Franklin, so Gladys Knight's in this era at all. So I'm pulling from 94 to 2013. You guys can pull from 2014 to 2024. So you got your top 5 female vocalists, and I'll have my top 5 female vocalists, okay? So I'll give you my 5. My 5, if I'm pulling from that era, I am giving, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Toni Braxton, Mary J. Blige, and Janet Jackson. That's my 5. Who you got? My 5 will blow y'all's 5 away. The weakest singer of that 5 is Janet Jackson. And Janet Jackson's vocals is pretty much kind of close to what's around today. The difference is, you had Janet, but she was surrounded by great female vocalists, so it wasn't as apparent as it is today. It just seems like today they want all Janets and no Whitneys, which is kind of crazy. You can have both, but I don't. It's so crazy. Like I could go on TikTok right now and find five really good R&B vocalists, male and female, on TikTok. If I was A&R, but they won't do it. They won't sign these people. Now, someone say, "Hey, Kev." Now you know Mariah Carey had a 5-octave voice. You know that Whitney Houston was the voice. You know that Mary J. Blige was the queen of hip hop R&B. Your list is bogus. That's not fair. It's like, okay, fine. I will toss all my singers away. I'll give you a different 5. Tamia, Shantae Moore, Alicia Keys, Marsha Ambrosius, and man, they all light skin. I need a dark skin. I need a chocolate drop. Man, I love Karen White. I was in love with Karen White when she had Superwoman out, but my criteria is 1994. And she was around, but I'm not gonna use her. I got it. Ms. Lauryn Hill. So I got Tamia, Marsha Ambrosius, Alicia Keys, Shantae Moore, and Ms. Lauryn Hill. Who you got? My 5 will kill your 5 of the past 10 years. But you said, Kev, that's not fair. You got all red bones and 1 chocolate drop. That's not fair to the dark-skinned girls. It's like, you know what? You're right. They were all lights. Beautiful light-skinned sisters, but they all light. Okay, fine. I'll toss them aside. I would take Keisha Cole and En Vogue. I'm taking Keisha Cole and Maxine and Dawn and Terry and my personal favorite. No, Terry's my personal favorite. One minute. Keisha Cole, let's see, Dawn, Maxine, Cindy, and my personal favorite, Terry. Keisha Cole and En Vogue. I used to think that I wasn't fine enough. I'll take Keisha Cole. And Keisha Cole is not even as strong of a singer as like my original list of like Mary and Mariah. I don't think Keisha Cole is even as strong as En Vogue, to be honest. She's really good. Keisha Cole's really good. Like she's really, but I don't know. Like that's a good debate. But still, so I got Keisha Cole and En Vogue. Who you guys got? I'm just saying. I'm not trying to belittle the female vocalist that's out today, but you can't tell me. And it's nothing against like Chloe Halle and something like that, but you can't tell me if their vocals are just as good as any of the women that I talked about before. And I didn't even mention there could be another list where then I could say like Sierra and Beyonce and Rihanna and Faith Evans, and maybe India.Arie. Like Beyonce didn't even come up in my discussions, like at all. That's how good this list is. And Beyonce's a good singer, but she's not Whitney, Mariah, or Toni Braxton. So again, I'm not, and to be honest, I'm not even knocking the R&B male vocalist that's signed or the female R&B vocalist that's signed. I'm not knocking them at all. And they are talented in their own way. It's just, I just don't understand. I wish I can talk to record company executives and say, why do you guys, because I see singers, like I said, on TikTok and YouTube, I see singers all the time that can really sing. Like they don't need auto-tunes. They don't need to twerk. They don't need any of that stuff. They can just stand there and have great vocals. Why can't you sign them? Like, I really thought things was going to change with her. When her first popped up, I was like, wow, she's like Patrice Rushen 2.0. She can sing, she can play drums, she can play guitar, she can play bass. Like, it's going to change. Like, now we're going to have more singers like her. And it just didn't happen. They went the other way. They chose Lizzo. And no offense to Lizzo, Lizzo can sing too, but her didn't twerk. Lizzo twerked. She twerked with a flute. It's like, oh man, we got to sign her. We'll push her. we'll push Lizzo because she can twerk with a flute. Her didn't twerk. Her didn't want to do all this, so she wanted to be respected for her artistry. Just like Alicia Keys, like her, I felt bad for her because her kind of fit what Alicia Keys and India.Arie was doing in 2004. Her in 2014, 2016 just didn't fit that. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with Syleena Johnson that R&B vocalists today don't have to sing that well to be success? Or do you think that these singers are really good today and we're not giving them a chance? Given by the list that I gave, I think Syleena Johnson was right.